Good morning, children. This video is for class 11 of the subject English Literature. Now, this is for the Tempest, the play in which you are going to see Act 1 and Scene 2. In the previous video, you saw Act 1 and Scene 1, which was about the shipwreck and where the tempest was caused by Prospero, and how the people on the ship like Antonio, Alonso, Sebastian and Boatswain, they all were struggling to save their lives. Now, in this particular scene, like Act 1 and Scene 2, we can divide in three parts. Three parts because you will see three different situations. Okay, the three parts here will be, in the first part you will see Miranda. Okay, Miranda, who is Miranda? Miranda is the daughter of Prospero, and how she reacts after seeing the tempest. So this you will see in the first part, where Prospero tells her about the shipwreck and also about the past. Now in the second part we will see two spirits. One is the Ariel and one is Caliban. That is the second part. And in the third part we will see the love at first sight of Miranda and Ferdinand. So these are the three parts which you will see in Act 1 and Scene 2. Now in this particular first part, let us see about the first part where Miranda, she reacts after seeing the shipwreck. Now you can see in this particular picture, there's the Miranda and she is looking at the shipwreck. Right now, through this particular scene, you can bring out the character sketch of Miranda. Now, if the question is asked that bring out the character sketch of Miranda, you have to first narrate the shipwreck scene where you can write that she was so kind. She was so innocent. She can't see anybody else in pain. These things we can bring out through this particular scene. So the main character of Miranda can be presented with the help of this scene. Now Prospero and Miranda stand on shore of the island, having just witnessed the shipwreck. Now as I told you in the previous act, after the shipwreck, since the ship was facing the storm and at last it broke into pieces. Now what happened? Miranda, she was also seeing the ship, okay, and facing the storm. She was very upset. She went to her father and said, and she saw the father that he was doing the magic. Okay, so she just said to her father that, Father, if you are responsible to bring up this storm, I request you to please stop it. So, and very soon, the Prospero, he just stopped his magic, means he just calmed down the tempest. Now Miranda entreats her father to see that no one on board comes to any harm. Prospero assures her that no one was harmed and tells her that it is the time she learned who she is and where she comes from. Now see, when I told you that the character of Miranda, you can see when she saw the tempest, okay, through the island, okay, where she was standing, she could very clearly hear the sound or the scream of the people on the ship. She just came to her father and she was telling that, oh father, I felt the pain of there. Like those people on the ship, when they were shouting and when they were in pain, I myself felt the pain. Okay, their voice was pinching in my ears. Okay, and she said that, you know, their shriek grieved my heart. Okay, like this was her character. She was so innocent. She was so kind that she was unable to, you know, hear the sound of those people suffering in the tempest. So she just came and told her that, Father, I just hope that there is no harm done to those people on the ship. And Prospero tries to console her and said that you don't worry, there is no harm, okay, on like no harm has been done on those people and they are very safe. Now Prospero has often started to tell her about herself but always stopped. Now since we know that Miranda right now, she is 12 years old, so Prospero somehow he might have thought that this is not the correct time to tell her about the past, that who she was and or who she is. So but now after and like till now, when we read the story, we know that Miranda herself didn't know the fact that Prospero was a magician. But from now, this scene, she also knows that her father was a magician. So Prospero said that many times I thought to tell you the story about the past, but I did not. Maybe the right time was not there, but now I think the time is. The right time has come, and now you should know who you are and what happened. Then Prospero stated that he starts telling to Miranda that I was the Duke of Milan, means he was the king. Okay, and then but later on, when he was the king, he gradually grew in interest. He was very much interested in the philosophical studies or the magical studies. So what Prospero did, he just was a little bit uninterested in the politics or in the kingdom or dukedom management, so he was not much interested in that. So what he did, he gave his brother Antonio an opportunity to act on his ambition. Means Prospero, he handed over the state affairs, okay, the management of state affairs into the hands of his own brother Antonio. Okay, now working in concert with the King of Naples. Now we have King of Naples. Now what happened? Before that, let me just give you an example. We must have seen the movie Bahubali. Everybody have seen that movie, right? So in that also we can see how one brother, okay, he just cheated upon other, okay, and killed the king. Like he killed the king just to become the king himself. So the same type of concept you can relate here also. Prospero, since he was the duke, he was the king. So Antonio, now what he wants Prospero to be killed so that Antonio becomes the king. Okay, this thing, we can see in all the these things, it happens in all the kingdoms. Usually it has happened in the past. Okay, in the history, it is the proof. The history has given the proof that usually all the brothers try to kill one another to become the king themselves. So the same thing happened here also. Antonio wants to kill Prospero to become the king himself. So what he did, he knew that Prospero is not, so easy. It's not so easy to kill Prospero. So what he did, he just worked in concert with King of Naples, whose name was Alonso. Now what he did, he just offered. Nobody is going to work for free. So what he did, Antonio, he just said that he promised Alonso, okay, the King of Naples, to pay him annual subsidy and acknowledge him as his superior and make his dukedom, means to Naples, subordinate to the states of Naples, and bend the dukedom of Milan to most ignoble submission. Okay, now see, such type of subsidy or such type of, you can say a type of bribe, Antonio was ready to give to Alonso just to take his help to kill Prospero. And Alonso, of course, he agreed. Okay, and now Antonio agreed to the King of Naples to pay him annual tribute and to him homage as duke. Means, and he agreed that you will be the duke. Later the King of Naples, of course, helped, and he raised his army in Milan and driving Prospero out. What he did, Antonio, step by step, one by one, he removed all the trustworthy people of Prospero from the management, okay, and made his own people, okay, at those places. And when he raised his army, then he removed Prospero out of the kingdom. But there was this person Gonzalo. You can see, okay, this was the person, an old courtier. He was the counselor, but the plus point is he was from Naples, not from Milan. Milan means not from Prospero's kingdom. He was from the opponent's kingdom, means from Alonso's kingdom. He was the counselor and the courtier of Alonso, but he became the rescuer. He helped Prospero. Okay, how did he help? See, Prospero tells how he and Miranda escaped from death at the hands of army in the barely seaworthy boat without sails prepared for them by Antonio's loyal subjects. Gonzalo, an honest noble courtier from Naples, provided them with food, water, clothing, as well as the important magic books from Prospero's library. Now, nobody knew. The plan, totally simple, was Antonio's plan was to leave Prospero and Miranda. As I told you in my previous video, Prospero was set on a boat, okay, and that boat was a type of a rotten boat which was spared by the rats also. In that particular boat, these two people, means Prospero and Miranda, were left to the sea to die. But somehow Gonzalo, he managed to put some food, water, clothing and some magical books in that particular boat, so that if by chance, by luck, they survive, they can carry on, they will live. Okay, so like this, Gonzalo has helped. Now children, this is one more important thing. Here you have to narrate Gonzalo's character, and this is the main point, how you will narrate his character. You have to give this particular example. You have to quote his character by giving this example, and also the way Gonzalo reacted during the shipwreck. Okay, so this is the way how Gonzalo has helped. There is a question also which often comes in your exam, that how did or who helped Prospero to survive, or how did Prospero was not killed. So all those things you have to answer about Gonzalo and the things which he offered Prospero to save his life. Okay, now this was the first part, which was about Miranda, how about Prospero and Miranda, where Prospero tells her about the dukedom, who she was the princess, and of course, and he was the king, and Gonzalo saved his life. Now the second part of this video, which is about the Ariel and the Caliban, I will give you very soon. So till then, read this and read your book. You have the paraphrase also, which will be very helpful to you. Thank you.